Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you are consuming content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing. What I'm discussing in this video is, welcome. If it's your first time, I share all of my energy, all of my essence, any little wisdom that I can think of, nuanced subjects, all the way down to very basic subjects, philosophical, sociological. I cover it, just whatever pops up into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, people could use this. And welcome back if you've already been here before. That means that I'm very grateful that you decided that I was worth coming back to visit again. In this video, I'm discussing how important it is to declare what it is you want to be or what it is you want to experience in this life. A lot of times I talk to people, and even people from this channel, and they're still in a space of tiptoeing around their dreams, their goals, their desires, and like their overall experiences that they want to have in this life. You hear the language that they're using, and it's like when, maybe, if, blah, blah, blah. It's a very passive way of approaching your manifestation journey, right? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want to experience? What is it that's important to you in this lifetime that you feel like when you take your last breath, you will regret not having experienced? These are the things that I'm talking about. Now, they don't always show up with us at one time. Sometimes they happen over years. Many people can say, since I was a little girl or a little boy, I wanted to do this, I wanted to be this. And some people say, well, when this thing happened in my life, I knew that this was the path I wanted to go on, right? You never know when that's going to hit you. And what I do notice about those things that we should be really more passionate about in our life is that they will resonate with your heart before they resonate with your mind. When we try to filter it through our mind, what happens is we start thinking about ways that it can be held up, ways that it's not going to work out for us, ways that we're not going to get what we choose, ways that things are just too impossible to do. Let me tell you something. And I'll go back to the main point, but I have to share this real quick. I fall victim to this too. Even being a master manifester that I am, I still fall victim to this sometimes. My daughter needed a car. Well, she needs a car. She's going to be going off to school. And so my thought process was when I got the car that she has now, that I wasn't going to keep it. It was a nice car, but I was like, I want something else. But, I'll drive this until it's time for you to get one. And so as I was, planning, it went straight to her. And I was able to look at the vehicle I want. The vehicle I want was on my vision board, right? I had one similar to it before, but I wanted a newer version, of course, because you can only keep an older vehicle for so long. And I wanted a specific color. Well, that night when I was sitting there, and that color, when I saw it, it resonated deep within my soul. I was like, oh, it's so rich. That's me, right? It's almost like the color of my nails right now. Kind of like a burgundy red, right? They call it Rosello red. And so I was looking at it, but when I looked it up, it was a color that was on a lot of vehicles that were in a certain type of model that wasn't super common. And they had a limited amount of them made. And I was like, okay, well, I would take blue or green. I love those colors too. I just don't want a black vehicle because I already have black cars. And so I was just like going on. I was like, so I took the color that I really wanted off my little phone vision board and I put the blue and green one on there. Blue or green. I can't even remember which one. Maybe it was blue. But what's so funny was that I had so many opportunities to purchase this vehicle in the blue or the green, and like it kept popping up, and I was like looking at it online, and like something about it was always off. Either the interior was off or the mileage or something, whatever it was always off. So when I got online one night, I just popped in like I usually do. There that color was right in my face. It had just arrived. The vehicle was online less than a couple of hours. It was in the price range that I wanted, and it was the exact color, the exact interior that I had initially said that I was interested in. But what's so funny is that the only thing that made me take it off my vision board and to put it on the back burner was the idea of me thinking that I couldn't have it. And I find that is where we get caught up the most when it comes to manifesting the things that we want to experience. We don't declare it because of disappointment, because of our brain. We just don't want to go through the motions of feeling like I wanted this thing really bad and it did not work out. And so we rationalize ourselves right out of focusing on or getting the thing that we actually choose. Now, in my mind, I kept thinking like every time I saw one, which is not very often because the color is not very common, I was like, oh man, it'd be nice if I can get one, but I'll take the blue or green. I was always in my head, but deeply resonating with my heart was that other color. And so this is just an example of how we talk ourselves out of our manifestations all the time. We start to think in a scarcity mindset, even when we don't know we're moving in a scarcity mindset. And we start to think like what we see right in front of us is all that's available to us, right? So when we have these things that resonate deeply with our heart, deeply with our soul, deeply on the inside of us, at the very core of us in a way that we can't explain, we have to be able to go with it. We have to stop it right there and say, that's what it's gonna be. Not even probably, because that's also a passive word. This is the likelihood of what's going to happen. When we get into the space where we start using our brains too much, we start using our mind, that little computer that's supposed to rationalize and go 1 + 1 = 2, when we know that the universe is not really 1 + 1 = 2 from our perspective. Maybe in the background, but not always what we can see, right? That's why we call it magic sometimes, right? And so it's not always like calculated perfectly. Our brain is limited in that way. It's going to start trying to figure things out and talk about the hows and all this kind of stuff. And when it doesn't line up in our heads, we push ourselves further and further away from those things that we want to experience, right? I've seen women do this who really want to be married or in relationships or want to experience love in a certain way. I've seen this a lot because that's one of the number one things when I talk to people, especially from this channel and stuff like that, is something that they want to experience. That and a business growing. The first thing they start talking about is how there's no availability of certain kinds of men. There's only a few of those or whatever. There's only this. And I'm just like, well, if that's your real desire, remember, you only need one. You're only looking for one, right? Right? You're only looking for the one that you want to spend your time with. So you shouldn't think of it in the way of you need to see this sea of options right in front of you, because that is not the way the universe operates. It's going to keep on needling in to get you closer and closer to that thing that you truly are meant to experience. And when you're meant to experience it, those are the things that we are declaring in our lives. When we declare a thing, there's a different energy that goes out that emanates from us into the universe. When we are passive about a thing, it kind of just sits there and go, well, maybe they want me, maybe they don't. Maybe it's kind of, maybe it doesn't, right? And I think sometimes because of the disappointment that we've experienced in the past, we don't declare the thing because, God forbid, we declare it and then we don't see it right away. When you sit there and you say, this is what I want to experience, this is the goal that I have, this is what I know my life is going to be, there's no wiggle room, then you don't have to panic about it. You don't have to talk about hows and all this kind of stuff, because the action and the inspired action that's supposed to go along with it, it's going to show up for you automatically, right? Do you know how much I sat there and tried to prepare for buying the wrong vehicle online? I went through the motions all the way up until the last step of, giving my information fully and going to a test drive. Like, I kept doing this, but I couldn't go to the last step. I couldn't press the button. And the reason why I couldn't do it is because that was not what was meant for me, right? My heart deeply resonated with a specific thing. And the closer and closer I got to being available for that thing, my mind sort of kind of took a back seat. I was not focused on it. I was like, I'm not going to even go through this because I'm having so much disappointment with these other things. They're not quite what I'm looking for. I'm not going to even think about it. So because I took my brain out of the way, my heart had a chance to truly resonate and drag and attract that thing into my life. I stopped getting in the way of it with my thought process and how I was going to approach it and how I was going to work it out and what it was going to be and, what the paperwork should look like and all these things that I was making exceptions for. I got tired. And a lot of times we'll find that we get tired. We get tired because it's not what we want and it's not in the right mindset, and we're tired. So I put it on the shelf. I stopped thinking about it. I started doing other things. And then just one day I popped in and my heart was leading. And that's what happens when we declare something. When we declare it, that means we're feeling it deep down in our soul, in our spirit, on a molecular level. We're feeling it so deeply that it gives us anxiety sometimes. Like we get excited, and it's excitement that we can't even contain because we feel so good about what it is we want to bring into our lives. It matches us so well, right? You've had those things in your life where you thought you were excited about it, but you think back and it was really something in your head that you had played out, and you told yourself that this is what I have access to, so this is what I'm going to get excited about. It's called settling, right? And in life, what happens when we settle for things that we don't truly care for or want? We eventually outgrow them and want to get rid of them in time. And that happens especially in relationships, especially in material things. We don't have to go there, right? Especially in relationships, we think, oh, all these little red flags, it's fine because I really want this marriage. I really want this house. I really want these children. I really want those pictures to post on social media, whatever it is people are working on. I really want that experience. But we don't think deeper about what is our heart saying? What is our soul saying? What are we projecting out into the world, right? And then we go and settle for this thing that's not quite meeting the standards that we know that we have, the standards that are resonating with our heart. We go and bring these things into our lives. And then what happens? Give it a year or two. Then you feel like you're settling, right? You feel like the shininess is worn off, the newness is already gone, and now I'm stuck with something that I don't truly resonate with on a deep level. And that happens to so many people, especially material things. I've had people say this with cars. They get a car that they weren't sure about. 6 months later, they have all this buyer's remorse, right? We don't want to have buyer's remorse when it comes to our manifestations. So we have to declare what it is and then let it go. And I know we've heard these things before, but sitting there going hemming and hawing and trying to like make the little settling things work in our lives is never going to get you to where you want to be. The things that we truly want, the things that we truly want to experience are going to resonate deep within our heart and our soul and our spirit way before they resonate with our mind. I can honestly tell you that just if you're thinking about just that vehicle, that resonated with my heart, soul, and spirit. I've been in it every day, been driving it, and I'm just like, this is my car. Like, this is beautiful. I love this. Like, I'm not a car person. I get my mindset on one type of vehicle or thing, and I'm done. I can drive it for the rest of my life if it would last that long, right? And so I couldn't even think of anything else I wanted to have. And so, like, my mind is slowly coming around to, oh, this is you. This is yours. What you wanted actually came. So like our minds are slow. They catch up slower than our energy and what we're emanating into the world. And so like what's coming from our heart is always going to be exactly what it is we want to experience, right? The stuff that we rationalize in our mind is kind of slow sometimes. It catches on slowly. It's slow to react to things all the time, right? You've seen it when something awful happens or something crazy, you get this intuition to like, not like, to pull your body back. That automatic reaction of pulling your body back didn't come from your mind. And then this thing flew by you, like, this stick or this wood or like a golf ball at the park. It flew by you. Like your reaction came from your essence. It came from your heart, your soul. It did not come from your brain going, oh, something's coming towards me. Let me pull back, because the brain is too slow. So when you get that head out of the mix, you can truly attract those things that are resonating with your heart and your soul. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this message, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share all those wonderful things, because I really want this channel to grow. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day.